You know, I just don't want to be drinking a cup of coffee, minding my own business. I look out the window and I see some sort of missile. Now, somehow I'm able to see it because these missiles go super fast, but I'm able to see it. It's like going at slow motion. Oh, mushroom cloud. Whoa, wall of flame. My viewing audience, look at all you beautiful people. Oh, we're dead. All right. So Prime Minister Starmer declares that the United Kingdom is moving to war fighting readiness. What are we doing here? I don't want to live in the Fallout timeline. I don't want to live in the 40K timeline. God, listen, if I wake up, I find myself in 40K. Oh, is it a dream too far for Star Trek? But I'm not a fan of the holodecks. The more I think about it, the more I get skeeved out by holodecks. But hey, Mr. Prime Minister, what do the people of Great Britain have to be ready for? WW3? Well, here we go. Look, you can see all the people in the back like, oh, God, how can this go wrong? By the way, you want to see a real good horror movie? Check out. Never mind. It'll haunt you. You know what? Maybe it's best you don't watch it.
And today, following through on this review, I want to set out 3 fundamental changes that we're going to deliver. First, we are moving to warfighting readiness.
What could go wrong?
The central purpose of our armed forces. When we are being directly threatened by states with advanced military forces, the most effective way to deter them is to be ready. And frankly, to show them that we're ready, to deliver peace through strength. Now, Britain has the finest servicemen and women in the world. We're showing them the respect that they deserve by delivering the biggest armed forces pay rise in 20 years, and by pledging today that we will end the hollowing out of our armed forces. We'll build a fighting force that is more integrated, more ready, more lethal than ever, backed by a stronger strategic reserve, fully trained and ready to mobilize at any time. Second, everything we do.
I could just see everyone in the background like, something tells me that this ain't going to bode well. So if I see you guys on the other side, enjoy heaven. I'll be in like probably the 9th level of hell, but you know what? I'll be happy that all of you are up there. Hey, send me a care package, okay?
Will add to the strength of NATO. As we step up to take greater responsibility for our collective defense, the NATO alliance means something profound.
He looks like Mike Johnson's old, less gay British cousin. Bad cookies. You're a gem.
That we will never fight alone. It is a fundamental source of our strategic strength. That's why our defense policy will always be NATO first, something that's written through this review. The transformation we are driving in our defense must add up to Britain's biggest contribution to NATO since its creation, so that when we're building new capabilities at home, we are making our allies safer too, strengthening Europe and strengthening our bridge to the US as Britain's first partner in defense. Third, we will innovate and accelerate innovation at a wartime pace, so we can meet the threats of today and of tomorrow as the fastest innovator in NATO. Now, this doesn't mean replacing people or hardware. Quite the opposite. It means learning the lessons of Ukraine, which I've discussed many times with President.
Learning the lessons? How about not having the war at all? How many people have died? It was a pointless war. No one had to die. The pipeline didn't need to get blown up. Homes didn't need to get bombed. Russian and Ukrainian troops didn't need to fight. Trillions of dollars from the United States didn't need to be spent on bloodshed. Weapons did not have to be sent. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you know, it was stupid. 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 You know, future generations will look back at us and say, wow, you guys were really dumb. That was a pointless war. Did anything get accomplished from it? No, it was stupid. Very stupid. It wasn't a fight for freedom. It was a fight between oligarchs. Who do you think made the most? Folks, I'm going to level with you, okay? And I'm going to keep on repeating this. And you know what? You can use this Coca-Cola Classic line as much as you want at dinner parties or good old fancy shindigs or at the local bar. But ask yourself, or ask the people who might still think that the Ukraine war is a good war, who do you think profited off of it the most? Because as the Russian tanks and the troops were getting close to the Ukraine border as the war was going to get started, before the first round fired, what do you think our fantastic Democrat and Republican lawmakers did? Do you think they called for an emergency session? They called for emergency session for peace. Or type 2, they made some money. A huge financial killing in 2022. The correct answer is a lot of them made some money, baby. They made money. Money. Money, 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 money. Both Democrat and Republican. See, Democrat and Republican voters, bipartisanship. Politicians will unite for profit of war. Not for you. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I think the politicians care about you. See, here's the thing. When I hear somebody say they believe in Santa Claus or Bigfoot, it's like, yeah, that's justifiable. I'm going to say it's justifiable. When I hear somebody say they believe that their politicians in DC represent and work for them, oh, you're fucking crazy. Yes, I swore. You heard me. You're crazy, baby. You're crazy. Crazier than the crazy redhead stripper.
President Zelensky, to ensure that every capability we have works seamlessly together. Drones, destroyers, AI, aircraft, each different branch of our armed services fully integrated to create an army which is 10 times more lethal by 2035. And in delivering all of this, we are more ambitious than ever for the change it can bring. To deliver not just security for our country, but renewal too. After the Cold War, many nations cut defense spending, freeing up public funds.
Yeah, isn't that what the whole thing's about? No more money for war. Hey, let's fix our roads, our bridges, our dams. Let's invest in the people and schools. Let's do good things together. That'd be great. Hey, let's invest into space and exploration. Let's invest into new energy. Taking care of our people, the sick, the old, the young, everybody. Doesn't that sound nice? Oh, well.
Creating what was called a peace dividend, which people felt in their public services and in the quality of their lives. Faced with new circumstances today, we must deliver for working people again, to seize now a defence dividend for the British people, using this moment to drive jobs and investment throughout the country, like here in Govan, providing local opportunities, skilled work, community pride, ensuring that everyone across the United Kingdom has a role to play in this effort, yes, but also that everyone has a stake in its success. I want to spell this out very simply. To achieve this, we're going to build, we're going to use this investment and this once-in-a-generation reform to drive renewal up and down the nation, creating new jobs, creating skills and opportunity, driving huge growth in industrial capacity.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Oh, a lot could go wrong. Because defense spending has been rising up and 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 up. Shout out to Bad Cookies right here. So Britain is moving towards a war footing with the launch of a rearmament campaign. Now, look, I get it. Hey, listen, I get it. I get it. Like, the world is filled, there's a lot of uncertainty. And, everyone has a right to defend themselves. Everyone does. And look, I don't think we'll get to a Star Trek universe where, there's a united Earth. I don't see that happening. Okay? The only time the Earths could have been reunited is if Aurelian lived, but that's unfortunately when the timeline got messed up. As soon as Aurelian died, the world was doomed. But Starmer unveiled his cabinet strategic defense review, which includes expansive armaments program mirroring similar efforts across NATO. Last week, UK Defense Secretary John Healey said London was sending a message to Moscow by allocating billions of pounds for new munitions plants, long-range missile systems, and other capabilities. Russia has accused Western nations of using alarmist rhetoric to justify shifting public funds towards military spending. Because what could go wrong? What could go wrong? Oh, what does this shiny red button do? Beep, kaboom. We are moving to war-fighting readiness, Starmer said in a shipyard in Govan, Glasgow, adding that our defense policy will always be NATO first. He vowed to transform the UK into a battle-ready, armor-clad nation with the strong alliances and the most advanced capabilities equipped for the decades to come. You know, there's been a lot of talk about AI and artificial intelligence and its power and everything else. You know, there's been a lot of talk, and sometimes my heart just really hurts when I see all this madness. Sometimes I'm feeling all the pain because it's clear to me, and it should be clear to all of you watching this, that we have a mindset not only here in the United States but worldwide. And the thing is, hold on, I actually got a message from somebody here too. And you know what? It's important to hear different perspectives. Okay, so hold on, I want to read this. So I'm going to read this person, and I'll keep them anonymous. And so there you go. But if they agree for me to say their name for tomorrow's show, I will. But I want to read their perspective. The problem with Ukraine-Russia was stupid. I agree. But to avoid it, Ukraine would have had to agree to give a section to Russia. Too many people think that's absurd, but Russia will end up with it anyways after all this. I said this in 2022. If negotiations landed there, think of the hundreds of thousands that didn't have to die. I don't think that they were going to, like annex the land. What they wanted was two regions to become separate, independent entities. Now, is Russia going to give up any of its gains? I don't see that happening, but you're absolutely correct. So I just want to acknowledge people in the chat. And I think it's important that we look at, the overall big problem is that, negotiations could still continue on and maybe nothing would have happened, but now because we have a society, both here in the United States, but I guess nationwide now, that is so triggered with Russia phobia, we have to realize that we all share the same planet. If we instigate further conflict amongst ourselves, we're doomed. We're doomed as a people. We're not going to make it. This is not how we survive. This is not healthy, people. This is how we go extinct. And this is how we all pass out. This is how we all end. And I'm not looking forward to that. I don't want to see that happen. But we have politicians, not only here in the USA, but worldwide, who are marching us to World War III. And, as a kid, I used to play this game called Red Alert 2, the Red Alert series from Command and Conquer, RIP Westwood. And the thing is, that's a game. It's a game. But in all reality, if there's to be a conflict between global superpowers, it's only a matter of time before the nukes drop, and then it's all over. This is where there needs to be a true anti-war movement, a united movement from the left and the right. And I know there's going to be people in the comment section, well, gee, kid, sometimes you still have to show strength against rival nations. Fair. But we don't have to destroy each other. We don't have to destroy this beautiful planet. We could all have a beautiful life. But it's up to us as the people, because I don't think our leaders are listening. It's us or nobody else. That person in Russia, that person in China, that person in the USA, that person in Europe, somewhere around the world. Guess what? You got a person just like you living in another country. That's your brother. Do you really want to kill your brother?